Welcome to the instruction video of our simple budget spreadsheet. In this video, I'll walk you through the step-by-step process of how to set up and customize this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet works like a single tab budget, but we've also included a README tab. In the README tab, you'll find some helpful links, including the video tutorial you're currently watching, our tips and tricks and FAQ pages, and a link to our Etsy shop, where you can send us a message if you have any questions after watching this video. You will also find quick instructions and some spreadsheet information. If you ever want to start over, you can click the New Template button to create a new copy of the original spreadsheet. Now let's go to the Budget tab. At the top, you can check this little box to highlight all editable fields in light orange. We recommend doing this during setup to make sure you don't accidentally change any fields that shouldn't be changed. We've also protected all other fields that may contain some spreadsheet formulas. So if you try to edit a field that shouldn't be edited, you will see a warning appear, and if that happens, simply click Cancel to avoid any changes. Now, what we also recommend doing is to basically create a template of this budget tab and to duplicate it for each month or paycheck. This way, you won't have to enter your information over and over again or delete previous transactions every time you start a new budget. To create a template, you can start by setting a currency symbol. The default is a $sign, but you can change it to any currency you want, and it will update everywhere in the budget. Next, you need to fill in your categories for income, expenses, bills, debt, and savings. So for example, under income, you might have a first paycheck and a second paycheck and a bonus, for example. I'll just quickly fill in the other categories to show you how it works. Once you're done, you can enter budget amounts for each category. So you can either leave these budget amounts empty and add them separately for each budget, or you can enter roughly planned amounts now and then adjust them as needed for each budget. So for example, let's say you expect to receive $2,500 for your first paycheck and $1,500 for your second paycheck, and you can expect a $500 bonus. Now you should basically distribute this income across expenses, bills, debts, and savings. Here you can see that we currently have $4,500 available for budgeting, and if we add some amounts for expenses, for example, you will see that the amount left for budgeting will start to decrease. You can allocate all of your income to these categories and end up with zero, or you can leave some funds for next month or paycheck if you'd like. Now I'll quickly fill in these budget amounts for the remaining categories. The last thing you may want to add are due dates for bills and debt payments, and you can also adjust them for each new budget as well. Now that you've created a template, you should duplicate this budget tab. To do that, simply right-click on the tab name and select Duplicate. And you can also rename it, so let's say we are budgeting for the first 2 weeks of January. Next, you should update both the start and end dates. And you can also add any remaining amount from the previous month that you want to include in this budget. When you scroll down a bit, you will find a transaction tracker where you should record all your transactions. Simply enter the date, choose the transaction type, select a category, and enter the amount. For example, let's say that on the 1st of January, you received a paycheck of $2,500. Once you enter it, you'll see that amount appear in the actual section for the first paycheck. Basically, when you log transactions, the spreadsheet will automatically update these actual sections for each category, and all the charts will update as well. Now I'll quickly add some additional transactions to show how this works. And as you can see, the actual sections and charts have been updated. Also, for bills and debts, you can use these checkboxes to track which payments are paid or unpaid. At the top, you can compare your planned and actual amounts. You can see how much money you have left to spend, and you can see the distribution of your spending between expenses, bills, debt, and savings. When you scroll down a bit, you'll find your top 10 spending categories, and you'll also see a breakdown of your spending for each category. For each new month or paycheck, simply duplicate the budget template again, and you can delete or hide the completed budget tab. And that's basically how this budget works. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thanks for watching and have a great time.